All right, so in this short video, I'm going to go over how to make a strap for your little beautiful little cell phone purse that we just finished making. And that's that neat accordion 3-compartment cell phone purse. It's beautiful. And here was the first one that I made, and it has a longer tongue, which, like I said before, I think I do prefer the longer tongue. All right, so I cut 2 long pieces of fabric. So my fabric was folded. And I cut 2 3-inch pieces. So you can kind of see how that lays out there on the mat. The next step is to take these 2 pieces, and we're going to make a long strap. There should be enough of this strap left over, I believe, to make a little keychain fob. So I'm going to give that a try. All right, so this is like making binding for a quilt. I'm going to go ahead and kind of sharpen my edges there, clean them up a little bit. And my second piece, I like to make a perfect right triangle using my mat. Okay, so I always tell myself this looks like, I guess, kind of like a flipped upside down letter L, or just probably more like a half a T. So an uppercase T. So you're going to want to put the pieces with right sides together, and you're making a perfect 3-inch by 3-inch square. And then you're going to want to measure from angle, corner, vertice to corner, vertice. And this is going to be your sew line here. So with the pin, just one pin so I can kind of show you what this looks like. So I'm going to pin. I'm going to sew on the diagonal. And then when I'm done, you're going to see that on that diagonal, my 2 pieces are going to come perfectly together here when I flip it over. And I'm going to end up with one really long piece of 3-inch fabric. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine, and you can see that I've connected those 2 pieces of fabric together. So I like to make my straps. I start at a long piece. This is, like I said, is 3 inches, but you can make a wider strap. 4 inches is a nice wide strap, but this is a pretty small, delicate purse, and this purse also isn't going to weigh a lot. So often people will put some additional interfacing in their strap, but with such a lightweight purse, I don't need to do that. So at each end, I'm going to come and I'm going to turn it down 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And I'm just doing a little scrape with my finger. You fold it in half, You press with your iron. Press, 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 press. Okay. And then you fold in half. Press, 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 press. And you fold the other side in half. Okay, along the center line. You press. And you fold again. Okay, so I have a nice end here that looks nice. Okay, that's why I did that little 1/4 inch. Fold in half, fold to the center line, fold to the center line, and fold in half, and that gives me a nice strap. So I'm going to go do all that pressing, and then I'm just going to do some top stitching. All right, so we have our strap that I made, and I took it to the sewing machine and sewed it. And like I said, I didn't put any interfacing in this, but it is a very strong strap without even having any interfacing. So to make an adjustable strap, you are going to need to have 2 of the clasps, and these are called lobster clasps, and these are 1 inch, but you can buy them whatever size. This is a little bit large for my strap, but that's okay. And you're going to need 1 strap adjuster. So the first step is you take the end of your strap, you put it through your connector, and I like to come over approximately 1 inch. Okay, and here you can sew, and often what I do, because I have a cam press, is I'll put a rivet right there. All right, so then you take your strap, and I'm making sure it is straight, so I'm running it through my hands here until you reach the end. You get your clasp. This is your strap, not clasp, but strap adjuster. You come up and then back down. Okay, so it looks like this. And you pull some through. Then I get my other lobster clasp and I put it on. Then I take the end of my lobster clasp, and I'm going to have to run it back through. So I'm going to pull this out some. I usually kind of stick my finger in there so you can see the orientation. Okay, you're going to run it up through here. Pull it back around. Run it back down through. So I'm going to try and loosen this all a little bit and get a really good view here. So it's going to look like this. And then I pull like an inch or so out. And right here is where you're going to want to backstitch and sew. And if you want to, put a nice rivet. Okay, so that's the orientation. So then you're going to have a strap that's adjustable. So usually before I do any sewing, I'll lay my strap out, make sure it works. And now I'm just going to go and do a little tiny bit of sewing, and then I'm going to put in a rivet. Okay, so I'm going to put in, I did my sewing on my sewing machine, and I just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And really, honestly, that's going to hold it pretty well. You don't really need to do anything more. But I do like the way it looks when it has a rivet in it. So I'm going to just punch a little hole with my press on both sides. And what I did not show earlier too is that I always use a little bit of fray check. So when I did the little plastic button on the cell phone purse, I did not show that I used a little bit of fray check here. All right, and then I'm just going to install my dies here. So this is the two pieces that you need to put in a rivet. And you know, having one of these presses is just, it's amazing. I mean, you can buy the little kits off of Amazon to do rivets. You have to be so careful though if you don't hammer just perfect. And then you're going to end up with a rivet that just doesn't go in right. And you can use the Chicago screw. I've used some of those before. But that looks so nice and professional. So I'm just going to come down and I'll do this at the other end here in just a few moments. But I'm going to show you how cute this looks. So let me make a little bit of room. So I have this adjustable strap, and like I said, you could, my strap adjuster is a little bit small, so I could have made this, instead of 4 inches or 3 inches, I should have made it maybe 4 inches wide, but you can choose. I kind of wanted to keep everything nice and petite. So here's this little cell phone holder. Like I said, it's so cute. So you can put a nice cell phone in there. You have room for other things, your keys. And the second one I made, like I said, I made it with a really short, small flip over for the snap. And the first one I made, which is following the original pattern, it comes down a lot lower. And I really do like this. So this does use a little bit more fabric, as I said earlier, but that extra piece of fabric, you can still make something with it. So this is what it looks like. And then I'm just going to clip on my lobster clasps. Now, you could have also put in a little tiny, like 1/2-inch D-ring here. I don't have any, so I didn't. You could also, if you don't have the connectors to make a strap, you could just literally, I played around with it, use a string. And you could also put a string through this loop, connector loop here, tie on a really beautiful little bead, large bead, so where the bead is larger than your strap hole, and you could tie a knot there and you would have just a cute little strap. So there's lots of ways to do a strap, but that is just gorgeous. I mean, it's petite. This one has an adjustable strap. My first one, I made it with a shorter strap. So it does, once again, take a little bit more material to make the longer strap and adjustable. So this little cell phone purse, assuming that it takes about a 1/2 yard-ish to make, depending on the width of your fabric and depending on how you buy your connectors, your lobster clasps. You can buy them in bulk. So I figure this little purse, depending on, like I said, what you paid for your fabric, is going to run you anywhere between $5 to like $7 to make. And I mean, that is just adorable. Thanks for sewing with me today.